Today we're going to be talking about the cultural roots of lacrosse, and what we call it again in our language is, well, basically it's bumping hips, so it's more of a body type thing. But I have to, we also call it the creator's game because that's whose game it is. And so in order to be able to understand that better, I have to go on where the creator came from. And the creator came from the sky world. And it's a world just beyond the clouds. And within the sky world, there was, or is, I should say, a tree of life, it was called. And there was a couple that was their job to look after the tree of life. And within this couple, the wife was expecting. And so the male person that was his job to look after the tree of life, make sure nothing was befelled it or damaged it or what have you. And so the wife who was pregnant, she got different cravings at that time. And so the craving, when she went near the tree, there was some strawberries and different herbs near the base of the tree. And so when she got those cravings for that, and when she went near the tree, she could almost see something under the tree. But she got her husband to lift up the tree so that she could see underneath of it, okay? And, well, the husband gave in, okay, as most of us do in situations such as that. And when he lifted up the tree, it was all dark, well, except for a blue ball down there. And when the wife looked into there, and this is where some say that she fell, others say that she was pushed, okay? And again, we'll just leave that to that. And she fell through the hole. And this was the sky woman, okay, from the sky world. She fell through the hole. She was falling for a while. And while she was falling, she could hear just wind and what have you, but she was falling towards this blue ball. And as she was falling, the waterfowl that was on the earth, and it was mainly all water, they saw her falling. And they knew that if she hit, she'd be gone. So what they did was they flew under her to lift her up, but they couldn't do that for very long. And so they asked the turtle if they could bring her down on his back, okay? And he said yes. So they brought her down on his back, but obviously she's on the back of a turtle. And that's very significant because in most First Nations cultural aspects, this is what we call North America, is Turtle Island. Okay, so when she was there, and she knew that, she asked the various animals that gathered around if there was any earth, any dirt that she could use in order to create a landmass for herself. And they said there is way under the water. And a number of different creatures gave up their life and went under the water trying to grab the earth. It was the muskrat, okay? He also gave up his life, but when he came back to the surface, he had a bit of dirt in his hand, in his paw. So what she did was she grabbed that and started spreading it over the turtle's back, and so that's how the earth did it. As she walked around, it got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and she created the earth. And like I was saying, she was pregnant, and so as the term came about, she gave life to a little girl. And the little girl grew up, and she too became pregnant. Now that's really difficult, especially when there's no males around. There's only two females. And so when she was asked by her mother, like, how did you become pregnant? She said that it was in a dream when she saw this very handsome individual dressed in white buckskin and what have you that came to visit her. And when he came to visit her, he placed two arrows across her stomach in a crisscross. And so she became pregnant with twins. And so the twins, and we're told that even within the womb, they were fighting each other, okay? Within the womb, even before they were born. Now, when she came to term, our Creator was born the correct way, the natural way. Whereas our uncle, okay, his twin, came out of her side, and he killed his mother, okay? And the grandmother was the one that brought up the children, okay? And our Creator he was looking after all the good things in the world. He created all the good things in the world. Whereas our uncle, which is what's called the evil-minded twin, and he created all the bad things in the world. So he was just a bad dude all around, okay? So this is where the good and the bad came to the world. As our creator was out creating his stuff, okay, creating the rest of the world, he ran into an older individual. And this kind of intrigues me because he's our creator, and you would think that he knows everything, but he didn't know where this person came from. And this person was an older person. He had very long hair, okay? And he saw him first, he had a hickory cane, and he had a turtle wrap. And so that was where the first challenge came from, and said, we call him our grandfather, and his name is the False Face. And he had said, I'm stronger than you, I want to challenge you for this world and what have you. And the challenge was this, I can make this mountain move. They looked at this mountain, and that was part of the challenge. And he said, okay. And he went into his dance, he shook his rattle, he banged his cane and what have you. Okay, he went through all these motions, and sure enough, you could see that mountain just start to rock and shake, okay? Now, it's very significant because he said, okay, I did it. Now it's your turn to see your power. And our creator just said, okay, turn around. And our grandfather wanted to see it so quickly that he turned right around, leading with his face, and the mountain was right there. So when he came around, he broke his nose right on the mountain, okay? And that's why we call him Old Broken Nose, actually, is what they call him. And as we progress, again, with our creator creating the world, what have you, and this is before he created men, our uncle this time, okay? He challenged him. He said, I think I should look after this world. I want it. Okay, he's just a bad dude. You got to remember, okay, he's a bad guy. And he says, instead of just outright fighting, going to war, he said, let's play games. And whoever wins the game will win the world, okay? So they said, okay, well, what's the next game? The next game is going to be the stick ball game. And this was the beginning of lacrosse. The stick ball game, this is the original. All there was a stick, okay, and a knot of wood. Just a knot of a wooden ball. And basically, they just decided that's your goal, this is my goal. If I get the ball over there, I win. You get the ball over here, you win. And so basically it was just hitting it with a stick, because the ultimate rule of lacrosse is you cannot touch the ball with your hand. So our creator and our uncle were playing lacrosse, and they played for 7 days the game, okay, and a stalemate. And our uncle, being our uncle, and he just, remember, he's just a bad dude. He's just evil, black, okay. He just grabbed, he said, well, enough of this. He grabbed a sharp spear, a sharp stick, and he just lunged at our creator. And our creator eluded him, but what he picked up was a deer's antler. It was just there. He used a deer's antler to subdue our uncle. Now that's very significant, because within the Iroquoian process, we have something called a gustoa, and it's our feathered bonnet. The horns of authority is what they eventually became called. The chiefs, and there's 50 of them within the Iroquois Confederacy, you would see the horns of authority out of their bonnet. So right away you can tell who is a chief and who isn't. Okay. Through interaction, economics, what have you, the Ongohoe took lacrosse out across Turtle Island. It was the most popular game in North America when Europeans got here.